Okay.
Yeah, once again, how did that come about? Why did it
I
claim
was
that DNA?
asked to
Okay.
submit to a DNA test, so
Was there a question about your ancestry? That's why they asked you to do it, or was there
no,
a
not really.
not really?
Not really. They were explaining some things to me. I said, just go ahead, take it.
Okay.
Get saliva or something.
Yes. And then turn out that your ancestor was Antonio Sanson.
That's what
Right?
they said.
That's what
Yeah.
they said. Okay. All right. So we'll
I don't
leave
know
it. You
who
don't
did
really
the
know.
test. I don't know the laboratory. I just went along with it.
Okay, we'll go along with that one. Okay. Your life. So you were born in Manila, and then where did you go to school?
I was in LaSalle for grade school until first year high school. Then I moved to Sacred Heart High School in Cebu.
Oh, okay. And is that where you graduated, Sacred Heart,
High school.
in high school? Okay.
Then for college, I was 1 year in Ateneo de Manila, and then I went to Xavier Ateneo de Cagayan.
Oh,
I took up agriculture.
I met somebody from Xavier in Cagayan, and he was actually in charge of. He was the president of the Filipino American Friendship Society. I don't know if you know him. He's a very rich man. He's an American guy.
What's
So,
his name?
I think his name was Mark. I can't remember the last name, but
I'm not aware.
okay, I'll tell you the story after this interview. It's an
Okay.
amazing story.
Okay.
Then you need to hear this, but because I heard it
Okay.
from them.
It's interesting.
Okay, but anyway, back to your life. So you graduated. When you're done with that, what year was that when you graduated in college?
I was 72, right
72.
before martial law.
Okay, and then during your dad ran for president against Marcos, and then during martial law, he was in the United States, and you went with him to the United States.
Yes, that's
Okay.
correct. I was there for 15 years.
15 years. So what happened was when martial law happened, he put Marcos put a lot of people in jail, including my dad and your brother.
Yes.
And if your father was in the Philippines, he would have put your dad in jail too. But
Yeah.
he was in the United States, and that's the reason why you stayed there, right? So
Mhm.
you're basically an exile.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. When you were in the United States, what were you doing? What were you working, or you going to school?
I was working.
Okay,
I
okay.
took up some courses, but basically I was working. Started as got into insurance. Then I ended up working for a financial company,
Okay.
and then I went into real estate brokerage.
Oh, okay. I think we got the same background because I'm a real estate broker in the U.S. I own my own company, and it was very successful. I did
That's
mortgage too.
great.
Yeah, so I had my own company, and I had about 25 agents working for me.
Wow.
And I had a mortgage company at the same time, so I was doing mortgage and real estate. So that's how I made my living over there. But anyway, you decided to go back to the Philippines. What made you decide to go back to the Philippines?
EDSA revolution.
EDSA.
I didn't want to live in the United States, so I came back after the EDSA revolution.
After the EDSA revolution,
Mhm.
and you decided to run for mayor. How did that come about?
Oh, basically, when I came back, since my father was so committed to the city, I was going around and checking around to see what's happened to all the things he's done to the city, and the new powers that be felt threatened,
Okay.
and they challenged me to run.
Okay.
I said, "Why you challenge me to run?" He said, "Because why am I going around?" "Well, what's your business if I go around?" No.
Mm-hmm.
I said, "You run. If you want to run." So I ran.
But was there a clamor from people too asking you to run? Were there like groups saying,
Not
"Mayor, we want you to run"?
It evolved. It
Okay,
evolved
evolved.
because I was talking to a lot of people, and there was a concerted effort, hitting me on the radio, and so it became a matter of curiosity.
Okay.
Some people asked me, "Are you running?" I said, "No," but I asked questions about the city.
Okay.
Then I became critical of the the new powers that be.
Okay.
And then they kept postponing the elections. So I decided to keep moving around. And after 3 postponements,
Mm-hmm.
I found out that, you know, I can give it a shot, so I rent.
Okay. And I heard a lot of stories about you when you were running. I was in the States that time, but I was already hearing stories that you would go to the, the squatter area, to the really poor part of the community, and you would go there and spend the night there. Is that true? Did you really do that? Or was it
Yeah,
just,
yeah, I did that. It's
okay?
actually, it's no big deal to me, you know.
Oh,
People find it a big deal because you come from the States and my God, what do you do in this quarter area? But me, when I'm drunk, I sleep on top of the bangko. I don't care.
uh-huh.
And
Uh,
people say, wow, there's nothing to it. No?
yes,
But
yes.
I call it immersion. You know,
Okay.
immersion. Really wanted to find out what's going on there. When you interview people, they just talk. There's this curtain that you really can't seem to get to the bottom of what's really happening.
Okay.
And the analogy I use is like, if you look at an aquarium, you think you know what's going on because it's all glass and you see the fish. No, you really don't. You want to know what's like inside the aquarium? You enter the aquarium. And once you go underwater, you hear these sounds, you feel this feeling. It's different. Begin to look at things differently. And then you're beginning to see that people are dominated by a sense of insecurity. So they talk to you, they're very bold and brave. But then I see inside they're really terrified. They're just putting up a face. I just tell them, then I explain to them. And they like what I was telling them. They said, you don't deserve this.
So it's amazing because that means you really went out there and find out what the people are really thinking and what they're going through, and their hopelessness, their problems, their day-to-day problems, and since you did that, you have a pulse on.
Let me just tell you one of my short talks that I give the people and I talk to them because I don't speak Bisaya. Okay? I speak very simple English. Being away for so long. And I said, we have a new administration. Cebuanos have been fighting Marcos all through the martial law and the EDSA revolution. We have a new president. And we have a new set of leaders in Cebu. But it seems that they're very close to President Cory, but when they ask something from Cory, it's not for you, it's for themselves. Can I be a member of the Supreme Court? Can I be a senator? Can I be Speaker pro tempore in Congress? Can I be Undersecretary in DSWD? So what about the people of Cebu? I said, the first year of Cory, I found out that the budget for infrastructure was only 8.5 million for Cebu City, which has been deprived for so long. 8.5 million, that covers roads, that covers water, that covers schools. What to do with 8.5 million? And I said, I have a feeling, explained to them. The problem is that when these big shots arrive from Manila, they land in Mactan Airport and they see beautiful runway and they say, wow, it's so impressive. And they go over the Mactan Bridge and say, wow, what a nice bridge. And they go to what was then the Cebu Plaza Hotel, a high-rise hotel at the time. And they said, wow, look at this hotel. And they go up to the 20th floor. And they look out the windows and they look at the city, say, oh, what a wonderful view, what a wonderful city. And I point to the bulb that's hanging over me while I'm talking. They see the bulb. They do not see the misery. And I said, if I become mayor and these people come from Manila, I will not take them to Cebu Plaza Hotel. I will take them here so they can see. That's how I won. Because they begin to see. In short, I was telling them, you're being taken for granted. All the sacrifices you made, they're just the ones drawing the benefits, not you.
So you were able to build a mass organization then of mostly the masses that was supporting you, because you went to them with their problems and
The urban
the
poor.
urban poor.
The urban poor was, yes, they, because the barangay captains were not for me. So that's, you want to call that masses, they were not for me.
Okay.
They're all on the other side, on the urban poor.
So when you run, everything was against you then. You didn't have your leaders was basically just the ordinary people.
Yeah.
You didn't have the
Yeah.
support from the barangay captain. How about the councillors? None of them was supporting you.
None. You know, in the
So you're
south,
an underdog. I mean,
yeah, that's, people are saying, Tommy, he said, don't kid yourself. You don't have a Chinaman's chance of winning. In the South District, there are 32 barangays. You only have one barangay captain. In the North District, there are 47 barangays. Arang, you have 6.
wow. That's a big
Then my
accomplishment.
father's vice mayors on the other side, and the anti-Marcos people, they were my opponents. So I said, but they kept postponing, and I just kept moving. And different combinations just worked out nicely.
Okay, so now that you're the mayor, you won the election, was amazing by itself. It's noteworthy how you did it. So you listened to the people and you gave the people what they want. So that's an amazing for a politician, basically. But one of the criticism against you was from your opponents. Their number one criticism was you were very arrogant. Yeah, that was when it first came out.
Yes,
Is there some truth to that, or?
that's very true.
Okay.
Because the Filipino culture, you make sip,
Mhm.
and I don't have patience for that.
Okay.
I say what I mean what I say.
Okay.
Don't read between the lines. It's all face value. I said, ikaw naman, maybe you can talk to me. There's nothing to talk about. So yeah, and like for example, people are so accustomed to having their ways. There's this hierarchy, palakasan. You need a problem. I know who can solve your problem. It's not the system that will serve you. It's who you know that will serve you.
Yes.
And that's the culture here, and I can't stand it. So there's a case where somebody who I appointed was the city hospital, and she's always late for work. And she said, you can't touch me. I'm close to the mayor. I heard that. I fired her on the spot. The father's a very big leader of mine. I said, you're putting me in a situation where I would really get very unhappy if I keep her. If I fire her, you will be unhappy. So I said, if I have to choose whether you're unhappy or I'm unhappy, better you're unhappy, okay? Your daughter is fired.
I'm glad you brought that out, because a lot of people, the followers, or anyway the audience, when they listen to that, they
Most of the
understand where you're
people I
coming from.
suspended were my appointees. I think a classic example was traffic discipline.
Yes.
There's no such thing here as traffic discipline. Said, what was the collection of traffic fines in the year before I was mayor? It was 100,000 pesos. In my first year as mayor, my collection of traffic fines was 400,000 pesos. In the second year, it was 1,600,000 pesos. In the third year, it was 3,200,000 pesos. But started to go. The increase was that was already very big. But one of my volunteers, my assistant city administrator, a jeepney driver shot him. He died. Eddie Habanero. A bullet right below his eye. And after he shot him, together with one passenger gave a high five. That's the kind of people we're dealing with. That's the kind of culture we're dealing with.
Amazing.
Oh yeah, I fought back.
Never heard that one, but I'm
You
glad
know,
you brought that out.
I'm not. He said, if you don't like to vote for me, I don't give a shit. Mayor is very arrogant. Suit yourself.
Yeah. Well, you have your reason, and I'm glad you brought it out because so now people can listen and find out what.
I can't deliver.
Yes.
And if you see one of the things coming from the States, you join this culture. It's all intrigues. Everyone goes to you, make sip, intrigue, you're so strong, you're so famous, you're so infallible, you're so whatever. They poison your mind against other things. Oh. And I had a boss when I worked for an American company, and he called me after I was hired to a lunch, and he said, "Mr. Osmena, I read your resume and I see you never joined an American organization." I said, "No." I said, "Maybe you don't know what it's like." I'm not sure, I said, "Well, let me tell you, you join an organization, sooner or later, somebody's going to say something not nice about you, sooner or later." I said, and I was just puzzled. What's your point? No, I want you to know when somebody will say something that's not nice about you, I will tell you about it. I said, "Thank you very much." And then he said something that got me. He said, "And whatever you tell me, I will believe you." I said, "You're kidding." I told myself, "You must be kidding." Then he said, he dropped a bomb. He said, "But if I just catch you lying once, I will never believe you again for the rest of my life." I adopted that attitude. So people tell me things, I believe them. But once I catch them, that's it.
That's it.
You're out.
Yeah.
So of course I'm arrogant.
Yeah. Okay.
Once I don't like, I'm not going to analyze. You're going to go nuts. You analyze all these intrigues that people throw about you. They say, "Yeah, okay. But once I catch you, well." So my first department head meeting, I told my staff, I said, God in all His wisdom simplified everything. He only gave 10 commandments. Do anything you want, just don't violate these 10. If you die, you go straight to heaven. That's how good He was. When in my administration, there's only one commandment. Don't get caught.
Don't get caught.
So of course some people say I'm arrogant. I say, what the hell? If you feel that way, it's your problem,
Yes,
right?
yes.
But otherwise, I'm going to go nuts trying to analyze what everyone's telling me. I'm not a psychoanalyst. I got to get my job done.
Yes.
So I have to make a decision in 15 seconds. So everything you say is fine. But once I got you, out, finish, Next.
Exactly. Thank you for that explanation. It's amazing. I want to talk a little bit about your accomplishment now. Under the Osmenas, it's basically your uncle Lito, or is that your cousin? Lito Osmena and you basically were the one who started. Cebu is so big. There's so many.
Yeah, Daray, too big.
Never
mind, I'll get another one.
But anyway, under the Osmenas, your cousin Lito Osmena as governor and you as mayor of Cebu City was responsible. Basically, I would say it. I don't know if other people feel the same, but I feel the booming of Cebu City was because of you and your cousin, and I still believe it in my heart right now. And can you expound on that? Can you basically talk a little bit about that?
Yes. Lito and I, our division of labor was that I get involved in problems that are urban in nature. He gets involved in other problems, like infra, province, things like that. In, but things like management, traffic, and things like that, he doesn't know. I do that. So I even do it for him in Metro Cebu. So, and there was a, if we have disagreements, we never force the issue. If you really feel strongly about it, say, okay, ikaw ang bahala. If I really feel strongly about it, say, okay, you handle it. But you hold you responsible. Okay, finish. You know, it's very simple.
So you're the manager who does the day-to-day grind, making everything work, and Lito was the more visionary. Is that how it's coming out? He's the one that's, okay, I'm gonna change the whole province this way. It's gonna be...
It appears that way, but that's not necessarily so. But
Okay.
city work is more day to day than the
Okay.
province.
Mhm.
Province is more macro approach
Okay.
because you have all your other mayors under you to do the day to day. I'm the mayor, so I do a lot of day to day. You know,
Okay.
like what happens with this intersection and who handles that. He doesn't get involved in those things. The peace and order, I do. That's day to day.
What would you consider your biggest accomplishment then as a mayor of Cebu City? Because I feel the economy, basically, you know, the way Cebu City became like one of the richest city in the whole Philippines, and I really give that credit to you. You know, I don't know if I'm wrong or right, you know, but you know, I mean, that's where I give the credit where it's due.
I don't think in terms of biggest accomplishments, because I can be, from a financial standpoint, you can say it's the SRP, you can say it's the BRT, but financial considerations or as a criteria is only one point. I think a very important objective of a leader is how to harness the creativity of people to work for you. So my best accomplishments were those my people who made the accomplishments. You know, mayor is only one guy. Okay, he's got 24 hours. He's got to eat. He's got to sleep. You think he's going to do everything? The mayor, in essence, is a cheerleader. You manage not the city, you manage people. So I tell, I'll get into numbers. We had the best trained police department because of Jingjing Osmena. We had the best street children activity in the country because of Margot. We had the best managed traffic system in the Philippines because of Sami Darza. We had national awards computer because of Dani Abellanosa. We had the best urban poor program because of Bimbo Fernandez. You know, even our dance sport team is a consistent national. We beat everybody in the country, and I don't know how to dance. You know, so you have to see and capture the initiative of other people, and you have to encourage them and let them be productive along their lines. So that to me is one of the hardest things to accomplish. I'm not even saying accomplishing it, but others are not focused at all. They all go egocentric. I'm the best here, I'm the best there. And they like to make or brag about things that they never did any work themselves. No? We had one of the best educational systems because of Councillor Joe Young. You know, I mean, what did I accomplish? I look for these guys, I talk to them, spend a lot of time, listen to them, because once they're on track, I don't have to manage them. They know what's next. If I tell them to do something, after they do their job, they tell me, what next? I don't know. What do you want me to sit down beside you the whole day? But normally, like my court, says, she, my wife, okay, after the election, she said, I don't like being first lady. I said, why not? I hate what the first lady does. Oh, why? What does the first lady do that you don't like? Usual, cut ribbons and things like that, beautification contests. I don't believe in those things. What do you want? I only want to take care of children. Okay, that's all you do. Okay, just take care of children. Just focus. Then she takes care of children, and then she's so happy. Then after she gets everybody running and going, after a while she tells me, "What we did this. Now we want to do sticks." Okay, not from me anymore. They're on their own. They're running. They win awards here, left and right. Not only she's not an exception. Many are like that. I'll just give you one example. Another example. Councillor Joy Yang was a neophyte councillor, and since we were so neglected by national government, we really lack schools. Bad. We lack classrooms. We lack everything. It's one of the reasons why I was pissed off with the administration. So, one day, we only had 4 public schools in Cebu that were high school. Only 4.
Wow, for a big city.
Yes, yeah, and so Joy said, what they told me, said, I was in Lahug Elementary School last night, and it was dark. I said, of course it's dark. It's night time. I said, no, we're not using the classrooms at night. He said, why would we use the classrooms at night? Let's make it high school at night. Joy, no. It's not safe for children to go to school at night. He said, high school, it's not grade school. They have nowhere to go. These people that graduate grade school, what's their life? I said, Joy, I'm scared, This will blow up on our faces, This weird. You're going against the whole customary, traditional way of doing things. I said, Tommy, we have no money to buy land. We have no money to build school buildings. It's there. It's not being used. All we need to do is put lights and pay the honorarium the teacher. He said, why don't give me one school and let's see what happens, And if it doesn't work, rewind the race, Go. Several 100,000 students graduated high school because of Joy Yang. That's from one discussion. That's what I mean. You see, the problem today, the problem that I see with the Filipinos, you're not trained to think. That's why people don't like the way I talk. You're not trained to think. You're trained to be a clerk. You just follow the book.
Yes.
And
you're actually the best example of a leader. That's what you're doing. You're basically leading your men, and you're basically telling them what the vision is, and they're out there basically doing
but
what.
you see, I have to fight their own values.
Yes.
You have to fight their own values. It's not easy to do.
Yes.
It's like telling somebody your religion's all wrong. He's going to go into his comfort zone and build up a wall of defense. You just believe in the wrong God. How can you tell that to a person?
Exactly.
What you believe in is all wrong.
But again, because of Joy Yang, you were able to be successful in doing that. So that's what your success.
People around me are not intimidated by that, but generally I deal with people.
Yes. Okay, my next question. That's amazing. That's a very good example right there about Joy Yang coming up with this night school, thing, and then
I'll give you. Let me cap it off. There's because somebody once, more than once, said to me, the way you're talking about things, it sounds nice, but it's so abstract. it's like it's all written in the sky. I mean, it's not what I experience in day-to-day life, So you talk about be good, be that, and I just can't relate to it. How do I apply it in real life? Can you give me an example of what you're talking about? I said, okay. One day I was seated in my desk, and a political leader comes in with a young graduate, and he says, Mayor, do you think you could give this guy a job? And I said, why not? No? But let me ask you a question. You defend him. Why should I give him a job? Because he's very good. I said, he's very good. I said, why is he very good? Because he knows how to follow instructions. I said, Pre, following instructions, that's good, but that's not very good. So he felt slighted. So what's very good? I said, give me someone who knows how to make instructions. That's very good. Following instructions, that's a clerk. There are many of them. It's okay. There are many of them around, but it's not very good. That's a different level. And she just looked at me. I said, look, we have this culture that you just follow the book. Me, I write the book. I challenge the book. I never believe in the book. I just busted it and then I question it. Is there a book on how to do the SRP? So they said, hey, what are you talking about? Forget it. I'll just do it. Okay? The book knows how to do BRT. I'll just do it. What book are you talking about? That's where we are today. We think our standards are high. We're stuck in the mud. That's why we're not competitive. We don't bring out the creativity. People are not challenged. Their way of being challenged is to memorize the book. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 times 2 is 2. Jeez.
Now that you brought up the SRP, how did it come about? Was that your idea or one of your people, or how did that? Who had that vision? I mean, how did that come about?
It's a funny story.
Okay.
When I was in grade school, after first year high school, I flunked in LaSalle, Manila, because I failed 2 subjects. Tagalog is national language, whatever they call it, but to me it's Tagalog. And number 2, catechism. And I hate catechism. I hate all these things. Believe me, I hate catechism. So the brothers told my father, I either repeat the year or transfer. Transfer na lang ko.
Okay.
So I went to Cebu, because they don't speak Tagalog in Cebu. I just have to worry about the catechism part. So I went to Sacred Heart High School.
Okay.
But my father was so furious at me because all my brothers and sisters had their high school in England and in America. And here, what am I doing there in General Maximum, there in the Sacred Heart, the boarding school? So as soon as I moved to Cebu, he punished me. He was doing the North Reclamation Project. So he made me work in the field office. And the field office was not aircon, and it's so hot. It's okay with me, whatever. So it was hot, but at least I enjoyed because I got a full salary. I mean, 14-year-old getting a full salary, that's a lot of money, because I already have a car, I have everything. So now you have a salary. That's just pocket money, so no problem. But I spent the whole summer. What are you doing here? What's this? What's that? Why do you do this like this? That's how I learned about the reclamation project. Fast forward 20, 30 years later, we're doing the project here. We went to put a road. And I said, those crazy planners, all the roads are going towards the north. How come there's no road going towards the south? I said, because no one goes there. I said, I fired the guy. I said, shh, this is one flaw in national policy. Where the traffic is, you put a better road. wrong. You put the road where there should be traffic. Because you're just creating more problems. More people want to build there. Now you have to put a road on top of a road. Now you have to put a monorail. You have to put a subway. It just gets. That's why Metro Manila gets all the money for infrastructure. You put the infrastructure where you want the growth to be because it's empty. I said put a road to the south. So of course the first logic one is to the south road, widen the road. I said there's too much improvement on both sides. You cannot widen the road. It's too expensive. So why don't you use the old railway line going to Inia 1? No? I said, let's try that. There's still too much construction, too many houses on left and right side. Then I noticed behind the road is still cornfields. Let's put the road there, you know. Huh? I said, put the road there because you don't have to spend for a road right away. And then on second thought, why to put the road coastal like Rojas Boulevard? Because it will be smooth flowing and nobody crosses the street in Rojas Boulevard because all the activities on one side. But then again, you look at the map, you have Don Bosco, you have the fishing port, you have Veco. It's very hard to relocate all of that. I said, let's go out into the sea. Are you crazy? No, let's go out to the sea. You see, goes out to the sea from Kawit Island to Tangke Talisay is very shallow. So the thing, you just put armoring of rocks. You just have to worry about the bridge from Talisay to the port of Cebu. From Kawit Island to the port of Cebu, they have the causeway. So I told the Japanese, I said, no, we'll do coastal. He said, you cannot do a coastal. He said, why? You know, it's there, you bid on land, you bid on the sea, it's very expensive. I said, it's cheaper. He said, why is it cheaper? He said, coastal. There's so many houses, squatters there. Pasil, Bambaling, Dulho, all those areas. And the roads are so narrow, you have to build access roads to the coast. Otherwise, how are you going to bring in that monstrous bulldozer and crane? You know, with all these narrow hallways, you have to demolish all these roads. If you build from the sea, it's hard at first, but you don't have to spend for right away. You just put from the barge went to the sea. So I was telling the people, I said, what are your plans for Cebu? I said, I'll do something nobody can do. Not even the best engineers can do. What? If you're in City Hall, you can drive to Talisay in less than 15 minutes.
Yes.
They said, no way. Yes. They did not visualize and put a straight road into the sea. I said, you know, so I make a joke. I said, so it's there. See, I told you. Huh? I said, I don't like to insult the Lord, but I'm better than Moses. Moses had to divide the ocean. But after you divide the ocean, it's all mud. Me, no. Concrete, with sidewalks and drainage and sodium lights, drive. You see, huh? And then I told the Japanese, but that costs, you know, because that's a loan to the Philippine government. I said, for the reclamation, the city will pay. Yeah, the city will pay. And people tell me, why will the city pay? Don't be stupid. The city pays. They cannot challenge us. We own it. I'll go before any court of law. We own it. They say, no, that belongs to us. We paid for it. Now you tell the court why you should own it. We paid for it. That's why we paid for it.
Wow, that was an amazing story. I mean, this is the first time I heard how the whole thing got done, you know. And
It's more than that, but never
yeah,
mind.
yeah, but
Gives you an idea.
I could just give you an idea because along the way everybody objected. Along the way there were so many people says it can't be done, it can't be done, it can't be done, and here you are. Yes, it can be done. Yes, it can be done, and you've proven it. You did it. You know, I mean, there were so many voices
That's
out there.
my education after flunking in LaSalle after first year high school. I took up reclamation.
Wow, that's amazing. So it came from your dad, the old CDC. You know, my dad was involved in that too. You know, he was
Yeah.
he was the contracting that your dad hired, you know, to do that CDC project. But amazing.
Okay.
Anyway, just a couple more questions
Okay.
and we're probably done. My next question basically is for the young people out there, you know, young Filipinos, young Cebuanos who wants to enter politics. What would you advise them? You know, who wants to do a public service? You know, what would you advise young Filipinos, young Cebuanos, basically?
Don't listen to the elder ones. They'll
Okay.
just corrupt your minds. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, don't think just because you're older, you're wiser. That's wrong. That's one thing wrong with our government. There's no improvement because the old ones have taught the younger ones who became the old ones again.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that cycle never stopped
Yeah,
unless you start
yeah.
listening to that. And
Yeah, you
you know, you have to think.
always challenge.
Always challenge.
Always challenge.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. And basically,
And don't blink. Don't blink.
Okay. You have to focus and don't blink, and
Yeah.
and you have to have a belief in your own self that you know what you think is right. You know, you should continue, unless somebody proves you're wrong or something.
There's nothing wrong with being proven wrong.
Mm-hmm.
There's only something wrong is when you do something wrong and you did not learn your lesson. Because life, all lessons are mistakes, okay? Simple as that. So if you learn something, there's nothing wrong with it. And then you learn something.
Mm-hmm.
People don't move ahead because they don't like mistakes. That's the biggest flaw.
They should learn from the mistakes
Yeah.
instead of just.
Yeah.
Okay, my final question is, what are your plans for the future? Are you basically retired and just
Yeah.
watch the other people, or are you going to be an armchair critic?
I'll be an armchair critic. That's easy because
Yeah.
you just sit down there and open your mouth, you know.
Yeah.
But it's other people, they open their mouth, but people know they've done nothing to show.
Uh-huh.
I'm telling the people of Cebu, there's still a few people who believe in what I've done. So they want my opinion. I'll be happy to give it to them. The others who don't believe me, fine. You know, I don't care.
Yes,
I don't
yes.
care.
Yes. Okay, is there anything else you want to add, or
Nah,
is there?
no, there can be no end to this. It's okay.
Okay. Okay. Well, Mayor Tommy Osmena, thank you very much for giving us the time to do this interview. And there was so much meat in that interview. I really believe, you know, that a lot of people who listen out there.
Yeah, where are you going to show the interview?
In my channel. It's called Mario's Filipino Channel. It's a YouTube channel called Mario's Filipino Channel.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna send. Do you receive text? Do you read text?
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna text you once I publish it. I'm not gonna publish it right away because I do some you know.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, but
You get this
I
out.
believe that this interview, you put a lot of meat into it, and you know it's gonna. It will just basically your legacy. I just recorded it basically, and thank you very much again from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you. I miss your dad. I really do. I loved your dad. He was very special to me.
Thank
Funny
you.
guy.
He was your dad's best friend. I don't know, you know how close they were. They were very, very close.
I knew your dad.
Yeah.
Even when after martial law,
Okay.
we see each other here.
Yeah, that's nice. I grew up in the States, so I wasn't around most of the time. Thank you, and that's it. Yeah, so yeah, that's called Mario's Filipino Channel right there. So it's most of my followers are Filipino Americans because I do a lot of Filipino American history. So a lot of, and then hopefully Cebuanos will look at it too.
How
I'll-
many followers do you have?
I have 7,500 right now, but I've less than a year, so I can see it grow right now. I did an interview with Chel Diokno. I don't know. He ran for senator. He's the son of Senator Diokno. I interviewed him, and then I interviewed some Filipino Americans. Very outspoken Filipino Americans. So
Who is the outspoken Filipino?
I don't know if you know Cindy Domingo. You don't know her? I just interviewed her. I've been interviewing. I know you met David Della. I'm gonna be interviewing him. David Della. He used to be a counselor in Seattle. You know him because
What's
he was
his name
part.
again?
David Della. You don't remember him?
No, I don't remember.
I know when you see the interview, you'll remember him because he was a counselor in Seattle at that time when you went to visit him. Visit Seattle with with a group.
He's not counselor anymore.
He's not a counselor anymore. He lost the last election. He lost, but he's not a counselor. But that time you went there, he was the counselor. So when he was like the head of the people to greet him. Him and Jack Bozard. You remember Jack Bozard? Right?
Jack Bozard.
Yeah, he's dead now. Yeah, so. And I still remember I went to the airport to meet you, and then we shook hands. But there were so many people you probably don't remember that.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
The
basically,
one I remember was when I went to.
you had dinner with my
University.
cousins, the Bromeos, because they told me that they took you out for dinner.
That's why I went to the yacht club. I
Yeah, the
remember
yacht
seeing
club.
The yachts. I
Yeah.
remember the boats.
Yeah, that was them, the Bromeos.
I see.
Alex and Abel.
And you were not there.
I wasn't there. I wish I was. They said they tried to get hold of me so I could be there too, but I was doing something. I wasn't there. But they told me about it. So they're very active. Actually, they're doing so good in Seattle. One of the sister owns one of the not only one but the biggest plumbing company in Washington, the state of Washington. They joined the annual hydroplane race, and they won this year. So that's a very big
I
event.
went to Renton.
Renton, yeah,
I went to the Boeing factory.
the Boeing factory in Renton.
Yeah, I entered. Yeah, wow.
Yeah. Boeing is everywhere Boeing and also Microsoft. Those are the two big. Amazon is there. So those three big companies: Amazon, Microsoft, and Boeing, and Starbucks.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you sitting down with us, and it was amazing when I saw you at the wake of Jay. And I asked you, said, "Can I do interview?" And right away you said, "I'll give you my number. You give me a call." And then I still remember what you told me. You said 0917 is the Globe number. You remember that? And then 32 is the Cebu City code,
Yeah.
and then 99999. Got in my head the way you describe
yes,
it.
You can connect.
You're the one who told me that, and said okay, but took me a month before to call you. But I'm glad I did. I'm going to Camotes again tomorrow. We're gonna finish that project before we leave. We're leaving March 3rd. So
I'll be doing a video to help the kids on memory.
yes, and actually that's the reason why I'm doing I want to get people's stories, not only politicians or celebrity, mostly ordinary people. I'm taking their stories, especially if they're in their 70s, because I want to preserve it for their, the next generation, for the grandkids down the road, knock on wood, if something happens to us, they can actually hear your voice, and they can, you know how when the phone rings and then when somebody dies, they listen to the please leave a message. They just want to hear the voice.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm doing. Instead of listening to that, they can watch actually the person talking about their life, about what they did. And with this, I'm preserving your story. I got part of your story, not the whole story, but I think the most important. You gave a lot of, pointers there. How it's amazing. How to lead people.
What did you like anything that I said?
I hope you're a young man. He's only 25 years old. Did you learn something from?
About
No. Is there anything that caught your attention?
about SRP.
Huh?
About sa SRP. Muna akong na...
About what?
Sa
SRT ko, no? You have to talk louder
Yan.
when you're talking to the people that's, age. So you heard the story, right, of the SRP.
Sa Mauka.
So it's important for young people to learn that, this is part of Cebu City history right there. And you don't know it yet, but, later on in your life, you realize you sat in front of a great person that you don't realize it yet. But young people should learn that. Not take it for granted.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
I have to get going.
Yeah. I-off na. Naka-off na, no?